Hi there, everyone. Welcome on board another informative Jamaica Magazine journey. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. There is a lot in store for you on these pages, starting with the news of the day. You can't miss any of it, so stay with us.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Monday, December 2, 2024. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says a beach park has been identified for Priory in St. Anne and another in Negril, Westmoreland. He gave the update on plans for the development of parks and green spaces during a stakeholder breakfast meeting hosted by the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, last week.
Then, in St. Thomas, we have given a directive to the UDC to identify and or acquire land in St. Thomas to build their parish park, and that will be called the Freedom Park.
He also reiterated earlier commitments that the Hope Park at Hope Gardens in St. Andrew would be upgraded, while Kingston is also earmarked for a waterfront park.
So there is already in place, not just plans, the wheel is already in motion for the development of the Kingston waterfront. And the entire Kingston waterfront will be a park. So we have signed a loan with the World Bank for $12 million. It will be $40 million overall, but $12 million US for the development of the linear park, which will run from the Marine Police Station all the way to Raytown. And it will be a fantastic gathering place for all Jamaica.
Meanwhile, development on the Portmore Resilience Park is now 30% complete and opening is projected for October of 2025. Approximately 3,000 residents of St. Elizabeth are benefiting from the installation of 2 generators at the National Water Commission's Newell and Little Park facilities in the parish. The installation of the generators has significantly enhanced water service reliability for residents of Newell, Beacon, Blunters, Billy's Bay, Great Bay, Old Wharf, Calabash Bay, Pedro Beach, Little Park and Sandy Bank. On Friday, government formalized the agreement with the Bread's Treasure Beach Foundation, which loaned the 2 generators, valued at $24 million, to the NWC in the wake of Hurricane Beryl. Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, has lauded the partnership, which he says should be emulated by other private sector interests.
We are going to need partnerships, we are going to need help, and we are accepting this with open arms, and we invite others to do the same.
At the same time, he reiterates that the government is making major investments in the country's water infrastructure.
We are investing at an unprecedented rate. The Water Commission and Rural Water collectively are active in 74 capital projects, repairing lines, putting in storage, changing old pumps.
Jamaica now has the capacity to bring 45,000 visitors from South America this winter season, thanks to the resumption of LATAM Airlines out of Lima, Peru. The South American airline landed at the Sangsta International Airport with a full flight yesterday. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says this winter season will be a strong one, led by the resurgence of the South American airline.
LATAM covers all the bases, and even though we recognize that there are some areas of South America to be touched, we know that most areas of South America are touched by LATAM. But utilizing the Lima gateway, the Lima hub, makes it even more exciting, because now we are not only feeding from LATAM into Lima, but Lima is being fed by other airlines that will now use LATAM to come to Jamaica.
The flights will operate 3 times per week, on Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays. The schedule is designed to provide convenient connections with Peru's domestic network, as well as several South American countries, including Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Paraguay and Uruguay. Residents of St. Thomas can now look forward to a more comfortable and convenient travel experience to and from Kingston thanks to new routes introduced by the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC. The new routes are 701 and 702. The 701 will travel between Yallas and Kingston via Albion and Bull Bay. The cost will be $200 without a JUTC smart card, but adults with a smart card will only pay $100 and children $50. Route 702 will travel from Morant Bay to Kingston through White Horses, Pomfret, Yallas and Albion. The base fare for this route is $300. It cuts to $200 for adults and $100 for children with a smart card. Plans are underway to launch Jamaica's first artificial intelligence AI lab by the end of 2025 as part of the government's digital transformation strategy. Minister of Education, Skills, Youth and Information Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says this is part of ensuring the technology is utilized to enhance learning and improve access to quality education. As part of the broader initiative, Senator Dixon adds that there are plans to develop specialized labs in schools that will allow students to have a working understanding of digital technology and expose them to job opportunities within the space.
Our education system is changing. Everything about it is changing. And when we talk about STEM education, it links back to AI. Because for our children to be able to innovate and create the new programs, new AI programs, they need to have a particular kind of thinking. They have to be critical thinkers. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
The Education Minister was speaking at the recent National Parenting Support Commission (NPSC) Parenting and AI Forum in Kingston. She's encouraging parents to see AI as a tool for growth, urging them to set boundaries around technology use while discussing how it can prepare children for emerging job opportunities. And finally, the new Custos of St. Anne, Joseph Issa, is being hailed as a visionary leader, a dedicated philanthropist, and a champion of innovation. Mr. Issa was presented with the Grand Commission and the Magistrate's role during the installation ceremony on Thursday. Both Governor General Sir Patrick Allen and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness agreed that the appointment was well deserved.
His extensive leadership experience and unwavering commitment to the well-being of others uniquely position him to guide St. Anne into a new era of growth and progress.
His appointment as Custos is a well-deserved recognition of his integrity, dedication, and tireless contribution to his parish and country.
As Custos Rotulorum, Mr. Issa will oversee 548 justices of the peace in St. Anne. He expressed deep appreciation for the trust placed in him and vowed to work alongside the parish's dedicated team of JPs to enhance the linkages between government and communities.
In this regard, I intend to vigorously uphold the appointment and supervision process so that there is no compromising on the good name of JPs and the justice system.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
What are you doing about antimicrobial resistance? Antibiotic resistance is recognized by the World Health Organization as one of the top 10 public health threats facing the world. Misuse of antibiotics has given rise to this global crisis. But there's hope. Safe use of antibiotics is key. Adhering to prescribed dosages and duration is crucial. Use of organic acids and probiotics can help to solve infection risks and reduce the use of antimicrobials in animals. Remember, reducing antimicrobial resistance is everybody's business. Take action today. Let's preserve our antibiotics for a healthier tomorrow.
Water is one of the key resources for sustainable farming, which in turn ensures our food safety and security. For small farms, having access can be a challenge, but the local sector is employing innovative techniques to overcome that. Take a look at this pump and spray approach.
Based on laws imposed by the United States, Jamaican farmers are required to be certified under the Food Safety Modernization Act, as well as the Global Good Agricultural Practices Global GAP, if they want to export to that country. Given this development, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, saw the need to introduce a hand wash station for farmers. It's part of the measures to assist local growers improve sanitation on their farms and fulfill one criteria for export certification.
The concept behind this is just a little bit different. Usually other hand wash stations will have a gravity-fed system, but what we've done, we have incorporated a system that was developed here locally several years now, where we used the pump and spray that was introduced some time ago. Although it was introduced for the same concept in terms of showing and things like that, we have used the features of the pump and spray to add a little bit more dynamics to our presentation here, where you have a pressurized system. So that calls for a person's self. One person can actually wash their hands here without assistance from somebody else. So you'd go there without contaminating that water source that you have.
This hand wash station is not only affordable, it is also easy to assemble. All you need is an iron trolley, 3 oil kegs, a pump and spray instrument, and some PVC pipes and fittings.
From there, at a local welder, we modify the trolley, and in a way that we could install the kegs. So here we have the trolley, and we weld the handles, so it would be able to hold the keg steadily. And this is a pump and spray that we can get locally. So how it works is that a farmer or anybody who is working in the field would come by the wash station. He would get some soap on his hand, okay, and he would pump. He would pump the system. The system, the pair would pressurize the bottle, and in return, air will displace the water, and the water will comes up, and then the farmer would wash. After washing, the farmer wouldn't have to touch anything to contaminate his hands. He would just move over to the hand towel and dry his hands.
It was good. I enjoyed doing it. It wasn't hard at all. It was just easy. Just put my foot and pump it. Water just come up, and I wash my hands.
The effects of not having a hand wash station, well, it's really more for safety as it relates to you, the farmer, because what RADA's mandate is also about is to educate farmers on best practices as it relates to agriculture, and the farmer's safety is a part of the best practices that we are trying to encourage out there.
The team also successfully designed a water pump made using a weed hacker, which can fill a 50-gallon drum in 5 minutes.
This walker can be used for more than one purpose. So a farmer can have a walker but need a water pump, cannot afford a water pump. Now what the farmer can do is just easily retrofit the walker and a pump, merge them together so that you can have a water pump and a walker. So at times, whenever the farmer needs a walker, we just remove the pump and put on the walker section.
Farming may be expensive, but through innovation, your basic equipment could be just what you need to ensure greater savings.
Washing your hands properly can help keep you and others safe. Remember to wash often, especially before eating or touching your face.
A person's heart suddenly stops beating. That person may die. But what if you could do something to prevent that from happening? In our next feature, we learn about CPR, a life-saving technique that everyone should know to save a life in the event of a heart attack or stroke.
Oscar! Oscar! Oscar!
Though this is a dramatization, it has happened quite often. In the field, at home, or at work, a loved one collapses and is unresponsive. What follows? Usually chaos, confusion, heartache, instead of immediately providing that critical resuscitation technique which may prevent death.
CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. It is a skill that is an emergency skill that is used to revive someone whose heart has stopped beating. Cardiac arrest can happen to anyone at any time. In the event that happens, you need to know the skills that you need to perform to revive these persons or give these persons a chance of survival.
We never know when we'll be in a situation where we need to help someone else. It's really just a little bit of your time, and I think it would be a worthwhile investment in learning these skills so we can render assistance.
Even when someone is choking, the techniques learned in CPR may be applied to save that person from asphyxiation. To release the person's airway, position yourself behind them and clasp your fist at the navel and roll in an upward motion. When someone is unresponsive, that's a whole other ballgame. The person may become unresponsive for several reasons. For instance, they could have a medical condition. To really know if someone is unresponsive and in need of CPR,
tap the person's shoulder and shout, "Sir, sir, sir," or "Ma'am, are you okay?" Once the person is not responding to you, and they can respond in several forms. They can answer by moaning, they can groan, they can open their eyes, they can move a limb. If the person is not responding to you, now you need to scan the chest and look if you see breathing. Once the person is not breathing, their terms as being unresponsive. So once you have somebody collapsing, the first thing you need to do is check your environment, ensure that your environment is safe for you. Once the environment is safe, now you need to assess the person who has collapsed. Once someone is unresponsive, has no signs of life, call for help and bare the person's chest. So you remove their upper garments. Find your hand position. It's on the lower half, center of the chest, lower half of the breastbone, and you push in 30 times at the Bee Gees song, that's Staying Alive. Ha, 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 Staying Alive. If you are trained, after 30 compressions, you can give 2 breaths. If you are not trained, you don't know about CPR, you give hands-only CPR. So hands-only CPR is where you compresses the chest. You need to continue that on the way to the hospital, so you're maintaining cells' life.
it's possible for anyone and everyone to learn CPR.
Nannies, construction workers, teachers, lawyers, doctors, everyone should learn CPR. Once you're able-bodied, you can learn CPR.
In terms of age, it's said as young as 12 years old can learn the art to save a life.
So many times, children get in situations that they need assistance. In fact, a cousin of mine, her son got into some distress. She realized that he wasn't breathing one day, and she was able to help him by giving him CPR. So I think that was really important that she had those skills so that she could assist her son, because who knows what would have happened if she wasn't able to give him that immediate assistance.
This course, I've done it before, and I find it very interesting because I work a lot with children, and one time I have to do a CPR on a little boy because there was leave under my care, and mother wasn't around, and he was eating some plum and playing on like plum seed, stabbing his throat, and I just hear him coughing, but it never very severe because he was coughing. So when he was coughing, I hold him up and I, try to do a little, I understand the CPR, tell him to cough. And he cough and cough until it actually come up.
I had a patient once, and while I was there in the bathroom with that person, the person just fell unconscious, and I was there didn't know exactly what to do, but I was there saying, sir, are you okay? Are you okay? And I didn't know much, what to do, but I decided to put the person on the side, and I was there trying to stop the person, then I was saying to myself, if I had known CPR well enough, I could perform it.
The Heart Foundation of Jamaica is one of the several local organizations that offer training in CPR.
The Heart Foundation of Jamaica is an authorized training center for the American Heart Association. We offer CPR training for medical and non-medical persons. We have our scheduled in-house training, and organization can call us to schedule classes at their convenience.
CPR!
People living with and affected by HIV/AIDS today have a lifeline through antiretroviral treatments that prevent the spread of the illness and allows these persons to live healthy and fulfilling lives. Despite these facts, negative attitudes and beliefs linger and generate stigma and discrimination that we should all strive to dismiss. More on that next.
Fact: HIV is no longer a death sentence.
With a treatment regime inclusive of antiretroviral drugs, an HIV-infected person can live a long, healthy, productive life.
With proper medical care, HIV viral loads can become undetectable and therefore untransmissible.
Fact: controlled HIV cannot be passed on from one person to the next.
Despite this information, fears about contracting HIV from social contact remain. And HIV-positive persons continue to face stigma and discrimination.
What we have found is that while we have treatment that is free, while we have health facilities across the country that allows services to be available and accessible, we also have our own NGO, the Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, that also provides services for people living with HIV. We still find that persons are still afraid to access the services. And this issue is related to what they think or what they perceive or what they think is real when it comes to being discriminated against. So discrimination is persons are being treated in a disrespectful way. They are being asked questions that are not necessarily relevant for the reason why they're in the space that they're in and when they're asking for services. And these are concerns that we have had over the years.
Government, through the National Family Planning Board, NFPB, intends to end this practice with the launch of its Champions for Change campaign. A constant partner is NGO, the Jamaica Network of Seropositives.
Now, as a person living with HIV for over 23 years, it wasn't easy, it's a bit challenging, but I first learned to think about me. What other persons think or perceive me to be, it really doesn't matter. Because in life, you still have challenge. You will always have challenges. You will always have persons liking you or not liking you. But at the end of the day, you still have to live. You still have to go on with life. And I try to tell persons, do not let HIV stop you from living. It's about looking at yourself and said, okay, yes, I've contracted the virus, but guess what? I am going to live no matter what. Do not let HIV stop you from doing nothing. You want to be a hairdresser, a teacher, a doctor, you can still be what you want to be in life. It doesn't stop you from accomplishing anything you want to accomplish. But what stops you is the fear of what others think. What I want people to understand is that persons living with HIV, it's your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your friends, and HIV is not something for us to just look down on an individual and say, listen, because you're HIV positive, I don't want anything to do with you.
A 2019 Stigma Index survey among 509 HIV-positive persons documents that the most common forms of stigma and discrimination experienced is gossip, unfair remarks, and verbal harassment.
So sometimes when you go into your office space and you hear persons speaking, they might just talking to your friends and everything, stop them. You don't know who is in your office. You don't know who is in the household. Be careful as to what you say and how you say it, because sometimes we're just very unkind and we say it for joke, but it's not a joke. We are hurting persons. Persons are being hurt. Persons are afraid. The sad part about it is that when it really gets to you, it becomes self-stigmatizing. And when you have someone getting up every morning and when they look in the mirror, they're not happy with who they see, that's a lot of self-stigma happening. And they are unable to function effectively.
A lot of persons who are positive figure more or less that they can have kids, but they can still have a family. They can get married, they can have children.
HIV status is not a big deal. Persons can manage it. When we came up with Champions for Change, we believe that truly it's time that we have full support. And what better way to get full support than to have persons championing the cause of other persons? It's your brother keeper concept. It's where you can stand up and say, listen, enough is enough. I see you bullying someone. No, stop. Stop bullying this person. It's not fair. It's unreasonable. They have not done anything wrong. Especially when it comes to your HIV status, especially when it comes to your health status.
So when a person come in, you embrace them, you show them that regardless of the fact that they may be sick, you still love them. And that is the key medicine, you know, that you don't laugh at me and behind my back you talk me. That's not love.
It's important that I am a voice of compassion, I'm a voice of love as a medical doctor and just as a human, so that I can really speak on their behalf and kind of encourage people to show love. Very important for me is the promotion of education. I find that as much as I think people know about HIV over all these years, some people still don't remember that you cannot get it from touch, you cannot get it from hugging someone. And they only think it's from sexual intercourse. They don't remember that you can get it from a blood transfusion, or possibly you could be born to an HIV positive mother. So in educating the populace and in educating the people, they will remember to show love. Myself and other champions have been speaking to a lot of important groups that have large reach, the Scouts, the JPs, and also using our social media platforms as a method to reach out to larger audiences. Each and every one of you out there is a champion, and you should actually be that voice. You should actually stop people from troubling people, teasing people, bullying people, discriminating, and encourage love, compassion, and just again, be a brother, be a sister, be someone who truly cares for others, as HIV is not going to be transmitted to you from a hug or from a touch or from sitting beside a coworker. So let's all be that champion for change, and let's all just show love and empathy in all that we do.
Do your part. Show love, show support, don't discriminate.
Our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine ends right here for today. But please join us again tomorrow on this station for more news, features, and information you can use. In the meantime, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Until next time, take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.